Well, another day, another Carhartt shirt, because I shoot film. Alright, what's going on, everyone? We are back today for another fun little video. Not going to take up too much of your time, but I just wanted to sit down and talk about a film stock that you might all know, a Portra 800. I know Portra is becoming so basic lately. I don't mean basic as in like basic. I mean like it's becoming such a it's versatile. Like Portra 400, 160, 800. Everybody uses it, and I think it's kind of clowned on sometimes. It's like, oh, Portra, blah blah. But I mean, it's like it's a good film to go to. It's if it works for you and if it gives you the results that you want, then who cares, right? Who gives a shit? And that's what I did. I went out and shot some Portra. This was a while back. This was back in the summer because my videos are all over the place, as you might already know. But yeah, I live across, just to give some context, I live in Port Credit in Mississauga in Toronto in Canada. And I live across from a high school here. And I always see it, especially since I started shooting film, I see these like scenes at night everywhere. I love nighttime photography. And the high school, like it stays on, like the lights stay on inside, and there's so many like kind of like windows and doors that emit light, and like the portables that are outside here now because of you know, COVID. There's so many more portables that have light, and there's so many things that you can do. It's really fun. So one of these nights in the summer, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna have some fun, and it didn't involve like really driving or traveling anywhere, so I'm just gonna go out and shoot here. So I grabbed my Bronica SQ-A, which is no longer with us, I'm sorry. And I grabbed some Portra 800, and yeah, we just went out. Because the main thing I wanted to do was, you're going to see multiple pictures of the portables there, because they have like this kind of like orangey glow light that lights up the stairs. I don't know if it's motion activated. I think it's like on a timed light, because they did go off occasionally. But I really wanted to capture these portables, and with these like kind of like lights emitting on the stairs and having like one central area of light with like mostly darkness around it. I also forgot to mention that I was using a Tiffen Black Pro Mist 1/4 strength. I don't like it too much on digital images because I find it's a little overkill sometimes, but this strength is perfect on film because it just seems to diffuse the highlights enough where it looks almost like a 1/8 kind of strength on digital. So it does a good job with that, so it's not super contrasty from like light to dark, and you'll see that in some of the images. But yeah, I really wanted to shoot some of these portables. I think the first mistake I made was going out when it was still dusk. I think I should have waited until it was a bit darker out to get more of that contrast, because you'll see in some of these, there's one portable shot that I'll throw up that I really liked because of the contrast in colors and the light and all that. But a lot of them, the sky is a little too prominent, and you see it in two of these pictures that I really liked as well, with this like kind of pylon in front of the door. You get the nice diffusion from the light coming in. But then the sky is just a little kind of, it's a little too prominent in the background. It's like a very blue, kind of distracts you from the image in my opinion. But again, that's just me. You might like it. I'm overly critical, as almost every photographer is on themselves. But yeah, that was kind of like a theme of the night, the sky kind of getting in the way due to the time of everything. But a lot of them I did really like. Like some of the portable ones turned out really great. The first one that I took was kind of crappy with the school buses. It was just a little too washed out, and I was like, I can see the intention there and what was going on, but it just didn't turn out the way I wanted to. But as the night went on, the images, in my opinion, got better. And some of my favorite images like popped out from there. Like one of them being obviously like the pylon one by the door. I think that was like super cool. And then there was two that were definitely my favorites. One of them is like the Reigning King, because you'll find out in a second why. But this first one here was over by, we have a tennis court on the other side of the school, and this one turned out so cool. I kind of just, it was an empty tennis court, and I thought, you know what, I have so much potential here, I can really make something. And I saw this one light there. And I was basically using like a 50 mil lens, like the 88 mil 2.8. It equates to like a 50-45 kind of thing. So I saw the light there, and it was lighting up the entire tennis court, and the exposure turned out perfectly. I just love the way the colors interact with all of them, like the kind of like the teal and blue in the tennis court, and like the bit of the blue in the sky, and then you got the diffusion on the light. I think that really brings it all together. Like that light, the floodlight there that's kind of like lighting the court isn't like this harsh ball of light in the sky like a sun or like a regular light would be. And with the Pro Mist filter, I gave it that level of diffusion that kind of brought a sense of like uniformity to the entire image. And maybe I'm getting a little too technical about it, but it just kind of, I feel like kind of tied it together and just made it work. And that was a big component of this last image, which is like by far my favorite. It might not be yours, but this one was awesome. This one was like literally 100 yards outside of my house. I always see this doorway entrance that's emitting light, and I was like, I gotta make use of it. And this is it right here. Yeah, it kind of speaks for itself. It's really cool. It's one side is like, because I went to this school, obviously. One side is like the hallway light kind of, and the other side is like this corridor light. So you get a bit of like the orange mixed with like this like clinical teal look, and it is, yeah, it's really cool. I'm really happy with it. Like, there was a bit of a light leak, which I kind of had to clone out, and it's no big deal. I just, whatever helps bring the image together. And it turned out awesome. And the diffusion really helps with that. You see the light kind of glowing out rather than them just being like these strips of light against like a completely dark background, which probably would have looked cool as well. There's a bit of extension to them to give a bit more, I guess, like depth to the image, and lets the colors kind of breathe a bit as well. I sound like a wine connoisseur. Sorry, I get a little carried away sometimes. But yeah, that was basically the extent of that. I didn't finish the roll that night though. There was 2 more shots that I was really excited about, and that was when I was living downtown with my girlfriend in an apartment we were kind of like house sitting for. It was like her friends, super nice, awesome people who lived there for about 2 months. And I'd always see this car there, this black car, and it would be in this kind of like really perfect little corridor. I was like, I could kill this. I could like make so many images out of this car where it is. And I'd always pass it. It'd be gone one day, and then it'd be back the next. I'm like, where is it going? Like, the person obviously lives there. And then one day I caught it. I caught the car there. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back up. And like I forgot I had the Portra in my camera still, so I grabbed my phone to finish the rest of this video. And I went out, and it was there. Fortunately, it was like this nice hot summer day in Toronto. And I got there, and the first shot you'll see here, I actually like this one, not as much as the second one, which I'll show you after. It's kind of like the money shot, but the first shot is kind of like this detail shot, and it doesn't look like much at first, but when you kind of zoom in, which you can with these lenses, like with the Bronica lenses, so underrated, super sharp, mind-blowing. But you see the like a cassette tape with like some parking tickets, and like you see like the dashboard, and then when you move over a bit, you see like the accent of like the red wheel. I thought it was really cool. Like, again, kind of tough to work with a square, what's it called, square composition. I may have gone with like a 3x2 with like a regular 35mm camera, or even like a 6x7, but it was still really cool. I feel like I got a bit too much of the background. I wish I kind of like centered it more on like the parking ticket, but I think it was just like a really tight area. But overall, good first shot. And I had 1 more shot left on the roll. I was like, I know exactly what I'm doing for this. I lined up the car. I wanted to kind of build like a scene out of it, and this is it. This is how it turned out, and it was so cool. I loved it. I really got like what I thought was really cool was my girlfriend said it looks like it's in California, and that feels so cool when I can make someone think that the image was shot in a different location or a different time period. Then I've accomplished my goal. That feels so cool to me. So I did some more editing and post-processing just to kind of like warm it up and give them that real Cali vibe and feel. And yeah, the final image turned out really, really awesome. I love the composition of like the leaves coming in on both sides, or I think definitely one side. And then you've got like the Rogers building in the background, like that teal along with the sky there. It's like an old kind of Rogers Communications building there, which was awesome. So overall, this roll turned out like really great. I'm pretty sure it was my first time. I think I already mentioned it, but it was my first time shooting Portra 800. No different really than Portra 400 too much that I noticed off the bat. I think like to really see the differences if I shot like a normal daytime scenario, I might see some differences. But yeah, overall, as a first time, I highly recommend it. Again, I don't know if I got the reciprocity meterings perfect at night. That's why some of the images may not have turned out the exact way that I wanted them to. But again, it's all trial and error. Sorry, I'm really gassy. But yeah, great first time. Let me know if you liked any of the images that you saw. Let me know if you have any questions or comments about anything that I use, like the Bronica or medium format or film or Portra. Well, don't ask me anything about Portra 800. I don't really know enough about it yet, but you can Google it. If you have something to say about it, that'd be cool too. I'm always happy to hear comments and suggestions and all that kind of stuff. But that is it for this video. If you liked it, well, hit like, because that would be super dope. And subscribe. I always like subscribers. Love building a little community here and talking with y'all. And yeah, I'll try to be putting out more videos now. I have a bit of break between my next round of nothing but school period. And yeah, I'll try to put a couple more out. But that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you soon probably. So till then.